Hey there, it's your boy Foxy, back for more relationship stories. My friend is about to ask his girlfriend to marry her and I'm the only one who knows how unfaithful she is. Do I say anything? Plus updates. Original post. Not sure if this belongs in this sub because it isn't my relationship I'm asking for advice about. If not, apologies. So my good friend Aaron and his girlfriend Mary have been together for almost 7 years. They meet in college and are in a very close relationship. Personally, I would call them extremely codependent. Neither of them really has any friends aside from each other. She doesn't let him have guy friends. In fact, she doesn't let him do a lot of things. He's not allowed to go out past 11, not allowed to drink or smoke. She has to approve of all of his friends. And he's not allowed to be alone with other girls. She's got this guy on a tight leash. The reason why they're still together is that Aaron is completely whipped, and to him she can do no wrong. He talks regularly about how amazed he still is that she finds him attractive. He's a decent looking guy, but she's like supermodel level good looking. They post cutesy couple photos every day. I'm pretty sure she makes him post them, and to everyone who sees them, they appear to be the perfect magical fairytale couple. Anyway, a few weeks ago, he told my boyfriend and I that he was planning on proposing to Mary. Of course, we congratulated him because he seemed super excited. Now here's the issue. A few weeks prior to this, I hung out with a friend of Mary, Allison. Allison told me about a party they went to, where Mary got drunk and slept with her ex. After the party, they began hooking up regularly, and she had a group session with him and a friend of his. Aaron has no knowledge of these hookups. I told my boyfriend about it because he shares my friendship with both of them, and he believes that we need to say something, but I'm not so sure how to even go about that. It will destroy him, ruin their entire relationship, and maybe a friendship as well. However, I think in the long term he will be unhappy with a marriage where she's so controlling. Not even that, but if she's completely okay with cheating on her long-term partner, it will be the same once they're married. Is telling him the right thing to do. Edit, to clarify, the cheating has not been going on for 6 years as far as I'm aware, and the hookups occurred recently. Now for the top advice before reading the updates. Tell him before it's too late. He's your friend. You gotta let him know. Ouch, poor guy. I feel for him. I'd want to know. I feel the same way. I ran into a very similar situation. My wife and I shared a 2-bedroom apartment with another married couple that we met on CL. My wife went to a party with his wife one weekend. They had some drinks, and his wife pointed to a guy at the party and just straight up told her, "See that guy? I've been betting him." My wife was shocked. They weren't very close, and she just dropped a bomb on her. So the next day my wife confided in me this story, to where my first reaction was, we definitely have to tell him. Well, I sat him down alone, I believe, the next day, and told him everything I was told. Told him I'm sorry he had to hear it from me, but if I was him, I'd want to know. He was devastated but thanked me. He confronted her later on and she denied everything, called my wife and I some choice names. I believe liar and homewrecker was in there too. She cursed me out and was very hateful towards me as she moved her things out. In the end, he got a divorce and is now years later is happier. WTF. That's scary being in a relationship thinking everything alright but your significant other is smashing another person on the side. He might not take it very well, but I think you should tell him. He can do what he wants with the information, but as a friend, you should absolutely tell him before he marries this chick. I second this, but be prepared for him not to believe you. Especially in a codependent relationship, he will probably trust her word over yours. That's what I'm worried about. It's possible that he'll trust her word over yours if he's really blinded by love. But at the same time, why lie? You're all friends. There's no reason for you to tell him she's cheating other than it being the truth. Now for the first update. Some of the commenters are calling me a bad friend for not telling him immediately. So after giving it some thought and reading the comments, I have decided to tell him as soon as I can, most likely tonight if he's free to hang out. To those saying I'm being a bad friend for waiting, this is a huge deal, and it will greatly affect the future of Aaron, and I want to make sure I break the news in the correct way. This man is blinded by love. He's not going to be expecting this news at all, and his whole life is about to change. I'm definitely not going to do nothing, because he deserves much better than this woman, and he deserves to know the truth about what he's getting into if he still decides to marry her. I'm expecting a full-blown crap storm. I'm expecting him to be hurt, angry, in disbelief. So I don't believe it's wrong that I'm asking for a bit of advice on how to approach this. Should I have told him sooner? Maybe, but what difference would a few weeks make? For all those asking, I'll post an update when I do it. Update, I've talked to Aaron since I posted this, and he is coming over tonight to talk and hang out. My boyfriend and I are going to tell him together because he knows the situation as well. A few of you have suggested I talk to Mary first to give her a chance to come clean. While that's a good idea, I'm not as close to her as I am to Aaron, and I don't see that going over well. I would much rather tell him, and then leave it to him to decide what to do from there. Update: new information has been received from the third-party friend Allison. She has sent me screenshots of texts that do prove Mary has been involved with her ex. They send messages regularly and he has sent her private photos. Update: LMAO, I'll just mention that Aaron just got to our house, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll update later if I can. Thank you all so much for the kind messages and helping me work this hot mess out. I've been stressing about this all day, but I believe I am doing the right thing in telling him. Quick little edit. As of 11 Eastern Standard Time. We all talked for a good bit. I told him what I heard from Allison, and it went better than expected. But he was still pretty mad and upset. We are all just chilling and drinking now. I'll post the whole story tomorrow. Thanks again for all the replies. Now for the full update. So I got lots of feedback on what to do here. A good majority of the commenters told me to say something. To clarify, it may not have been clear in the original post, but I was never planning on doing nothing. Of course you gotta tell your bro if they're being cheated on. I just was not sure how to approach the situation. Some of the commenters gave me some very helpful advice. Some of you told me to talk to the girlfriend first. Some of you told me to wait. Some told me to gather a bunch of evidence first, which I ended up getting from Allison, the third-party friend. Some of you guys got angry with me for not telling him sooner, told me I was a bad friend. Some were sure he wouldn't believe me. Some predicted the girlfriend would deny it all. Well, all of you were somewhat right. Here's how it went down. I messaged Allison early on in the day, shortly after I made the post, because typing it all out brought my guilt and apprehension from the situation to the surface. I said to Allison that I needed to tell Aaron, and asked whether or not she had proof. This was when she sent me the screenshots of the text messages. Aaron came over at around 8, and what was great was that Allison came over too. We all sat down and talked for a bit, and we all told him our suspicions about Mary. Allison showed him the text screenshots of Mary talking to her ex, and also told Aaron all the stories she shared about her intimate encounters. What was the most surprising was his reaction. He took it very well. He first got very quiet, and just nodded. Aaron ended up telling us that he had a sneaking suspicion that something was going on. He was not aware of the hookups, but he and Mary had gotten into fights before over the fact that she doesn't allow him near any other girls, but she goes out and flirts with other guys all the time. He told us that she had been distant lately and would leave rather often without telling him where she was going. There were a few other small things he mentioned that told us he was just generally unhappy with his relationship. He knew in his gut something was wrong, but wanted to believe it wasn't true. We started unwinding with some alcohol after that, and it all got way more emotional. He cried, talking about how he felt stupid for not seeing it sooner, how he really loved her and would have given her anything. Then he got angry, at her and even more so at the guy. Some unpleasant and derogatory terms were used to describe her. Ultimately, he told us that he's going to be breaking it off, at least for now. We told him a million times how much better he deserved. He's definitely not going to marry her. Thanks again all for the supportive words and advice. We saved a good man from heartbreak. Now for the comments before the update 3 years later. She doesn't allow him near any other girls, but she goes out and flirts with other guys all the time. Every single time. Extreme jealousy is a projection. The craziest part is how they can disconnect the reasons for their jealousy from their partner's reciprocal feelings. Anybody who goes around and flirts with random strangers is a bad partner. Who's to say he won't just cheat on me? I mean, yeah, I'm going out and flirting and cheating. But error, brain connection missing. The old, we are the heroes of our own stories perception. You've got to push that self-critique down to get that level of protective over the same rules you're breaking yourself. I don't know. I chalk it more up to the it takes one to know one theory. It would never occur to me to check someone's Facebook PMs or Twitter DMs or whatever, but someone who cheated like that knows to look there, and since they don't respect them, they trample all over privacy. You did well, OP. Hopefully Mary doesn't try to manipulate him or convince him to stay. People like Mary have a knack for that. Keep by his side and make sure he has people stand up to her with him. The more help he can get through this. Also try and have him break things off over text or in public. Mary seems like the type to react very badly. Agreed here. I was in a manipulative relationship where the girlfriend took advantage of my inexperience and steady paycheck to feed her validation. Thankfully, my tolerance meter is quite low as it is, so this only lasted 3 months. However, the psychological damage was already done, and it took me years to fully come to terms with the situation. The part that I am still not able to shake off is how there were plenty of friends around me at the time who just let me stay in that disaster relationship without ever once stepping in to tell me to wake up. I am forever grateful to the real friends who did exactly that, 2 of whom were groomsmen at my wedding. Here for great friends who really care about their own. Edit, I understand the logic behind being wary of my possible bad reaction to people calling out how the girlfriend was a bad person, but I still believe that true friends don't leave you to stay in your misery. And here I am in a similar situation like yours, feeling a bit stupid because after 18 months of dating a master of gaslighting and victim complex, I still haven't fully recovered from that, even if 6 years have gone by. Latest update 3 years later. For anyone asking, they are married as of last summer. No clue how they're doing, as my boyfriend and I have cut all contact aside from like Facebook and stuff. They have a dog and wife wants kids now. Husband is still hella whipped. Your description of him gave off the impression he has very low self-esteem. You mix that in a bowl with someone controlling or worse like Mary, and you get the incredibly difficult task of trying to separate the flour from the salt. I hope he one day learns the self-worth to separate from that vile woman. We always got the vibe that he had low self-esteem and just settled for her because he didn't think he could do better. I feel bad for him, but also you gotta stand up to that crap. Being alone is better than being with a horrible person who doesn't care about you. That's why we kinda cut contact. We told him not to do it. You did everything you could. It reaches a point where the kindest thing to do is to let them experience the consequences of their actions. Honestly, you did what true friends do. You were honest and you supported him. The choice was his, and that's when you need to protect yourself. You don't want to see someone you care about throwing themselves into a wall. You tried to protect him, now protect yourself. It's not an easy path, and good on you from recognizing it. How frustrating to tell a friend all of this and then watching them carry on with the relationship anyway. We cut contact for this reason. Let them be stupid together, lol. I had a similar situation, but it was the guy cheating. Told my friend with screenshots and even evidence and face-to-face conversations from the girls he cheated with. My friend called us all liars. Friendship was ruined. She still married him. I hear the marriage is a fairly separate lives kind of thing, with them both doing their own thing. But he is rich and she was broke when they met. I guess money talks in this situation. And in yours, looks talk. Last story. I slept with my girlfriend's mom 2 years ago. I can't tell her because I know she'll dump me and it'll probably end her parents' marriage. So let me first just say, I'm not the one in the wrong for this, but I have to say it somewhere because it's eating me alive. 2 years ago when I was 19, I met this woman while I was working as a personal trainer. She was in her 40s and looked like a 25-year-old. She took an interest in me and invited me out a number of times, and we did it a few times. After one of our meetups, she said it was wrong for someone of her age to be with me because I was too young, then changed gyms. My girlfriend and I have been together for just under a year. She's amazing and I love her so much. 2 months ago, I met her family for the first time, and it was a shock. Like, she took me to the house where I had hooked up with a woman, and I felt like I was being pranked. Before I see her mom, it hits me. I have a type and they both fit that type, so it makes sense. I've been hooking up with a single mom, and I'm now with her daughter. Then her mom and dad pop out, and we both almost crap ourselves. I meet her parents, and they've been married for 20 years. I realize I have been a married woman's boy toy, and I feel incredibly ashamed. Later that week, her mom finds my number and tells me that I can never speak of what happened. She says that my girlfriend will hate me forever because I'll be the one who broke up her parents. So now I'm stuck keeping this secret. She invited me to spend Thanksgiving in with her family, and since my family is 1,000 miles away and I already told her I don't plan on going home, I don't really have an excuse to not go. So now I'm going to have to sit there at a table and enjoy Thanksgiving dinner with the woman I had an affair with, her husband, and her daughter whom I am now in love with. I'm screwed. Now for the advice. Damn, the mother is certainly projecting and deflecting her guilt onto you. Not your fault, my dude. The guilt isn't yours to shoulder. Agreed. Your girlfriend would be upset with her mom more than anything. I mean, she should be, but when emotions are high, I'm sure she would take out anger on him too. You're right. Pretty sure she will be angry at both. She'll be more angry with you if this comes out years from now. I don't know, but if you're serious about the girl, she might need to know before too long. 1. Not your fault and you did nothing to be ashamed of. 2. Are you living in a village? LOL. We live in a city. I just got really unlucky. If the mom is hitting on personal trainers at the gym, chances are you weren't her first or last trip to the rodeo. So, it was probably just a matter of time before she hooked up with her daughter's future boyfriend. Definitely her fault and not yours. She's definitely cheated with other people over the last 20 years. I'd say invite your girlfriend to a park or something and have her read this exact post. If she wants to break up with you, then you need to respect that. Like many other comments say, if you don't tell her and she manages to find out in the future, she's going to break up with you anyways. The Thanksgiving invitation is the perfect reason to finally tell her too. Explain you didn't feel like it was morally okay to sit at a family table being in that situation, and despite all your reservations, you had to tell her. If she was a good person, she'd understand how you feel, but she's also still allowed to not want to be with you anymore. Couldn't agree with this more. Damned if you do, damned if you don't, so just do the morally right thing in this situation. You never know, you still might be able to have your cake and eat it. Your girlfriend might look past it and stay with you for being morally adjusted, truthful, and trustworthy. But if she doesn't, you can hold your head high and be safe in the knowledge that you are a good person. Hey there, it's your boy Foxy, back for more relationship stories. Update: the ghosting and cheating ex. Original post. Background: me, 30 male, her, 32 female, met 5 years ago. Been together for the last 3 of those years. The first 2 were spent just casually dating. I love this girl. We do have arguments a little more frequently lately, but that's because of my insecurity lately. See, about a year ago, I was going through a death in the family, and I wasn't able to be there for her. We decided to take a break for a few weeks, mutual decision, and for me to get my head on straight. We talked often during those weeks, nothing deep, as we wanted to give each other space. Weeks after we got back together, after I found out she started flirting with a coworker, went out a couple of times, went down on him too. She showed me the texts. We worked through it, but I've always felt insecure as they see each other every day. Recently, a few days ago, we had a fight. We'd made plans and she canceled the day of. Cool, right, so I say okay. She has a habit of doing so last minute and it annoys me, but whatever. So later we talk. I ask how her day was and stuff. She sends me a few pictures and I see a restaurant in the background. When we meet later, I ask her about who she was with and she doesn't exactly answer. But after taking it upon myself to look through her texts, I see a conversation with same co-worker talking about having lunch together at a very unique type of restaurant, the same that was in the background. I was so mad. I asked if it was him, and she repeatedly said no. I left, went home. I woke up and saw I was blocked everywhere. I decided not to bother her as we both needed time to calm down. Today I decided to look at her Facebook through someone else's account. It says she's in a relationship. The co-worker's account says the same. For context, when we were together, she never once put in a relationship. But I didn't care. It's only Facebook. Suddenly, her and co-worker who showed single are now both in relationships. I'm going crazy. I've messaged her friends and everyone she knows who I know, but no one is responding. What do? I can't work, I can't eat or sleep. If she broke up with me, I'd be okay, but she just chose to do it in such a way. I need answers. I need someone to tell me what's going on. I feel like I'm starting to come off as a crazy person. But what am I supposed to do? Now for the top advice before reading the updates. You say if she broke up with me, I'd be okay. She did break up with you. She did it in a rude and hurtful way by ghosting you. Grieve the loss and move on. Once you are happily involved with another, she'll probably reappear to try and haunt you again. Don't let her back in, not even as a friend, because friends don't do that to each other. This is true, to be honest. Also, 5 years dating is a lot better than 15, with kids and going through a divorce. You'll bounce back. I can't see it honestly. I can't see ever coming back from this. It feels like this will end me, but I'll put my blind faith in your words because I have nothing else. I've seen stories of guys bouncing back. If you want, you can DM me and I'll share some videos. Either way though, you need an outlet, like going to the gym, picking up a hobby, joining a fighting club, or class for something you want to learn. If you go with the fighting club, tell the trainer a little about what you're going through. Then get workout until you can't anymore. Then pick a day to do it over again. This sounds like something a teenage girl would do. She is immature and childish. She might have helped you out by acting like this now. Leave her alone and her friends and family. If anyone decides to text back, tell them to get lost. How do I just cut someone out I've relied on for support for 5 years? Before we dated and after, she was the person I confided in the most. I talked to her almost every day. I know you're right, but how do I do this? I'm so restless right now. So, are you assuming that she's now in a relationship with the coworker? She's blocked you and her friends aren't responding. Sounds like you've been dumped and that she already had something going on with a coworker. Your digging probably just accelerated her plans to dump you for him. Just guessing at this point based on what you've said. She's obviously immature for her age. She also sounds like she was in the process of monkey branching to another guy. So, 1. Block her. 2. Stop looking at social media, it's just pain shopping. 3. Block her friends as well. 4. Focus on your career and getting in shape. 5. Get some individual counseling for yourself. 6. Focus on your future and bettering yourself. So, you need the no contact for yourself. You need to disconnect from her and clear your head. You need to understand that you don't need her to be happy. I think that's a major issue in relationships. You have to own your own happiness. Don't get me wrong, my wife and daughter are a great part of my happiness, but you have to be able to have a sense of self and be happy with your own life. Does that make sense? Also, as time goes on, you'll find that maybe the relationship wasn't as great as you thought it was. It's not an assumption anymore. Her friend responded to confirm it. She said a lot just to hurt me. Too much. I just blocked all her friends and family. I think I get what you mean. I guess I've always seen her as part of me. It's difficult to see myself as a separate entity now after 5 years of opening myself so completely to her. Thank you for this in-depth response. I needed to hear it. Now for the first update. Been over a week since I found out my ex-girlfriend and best friend of 5 years had been having a long-term affair with her co-worker. She ghosted me when I found out. First thing is first. You people saved my life. I admit, I was having very dark thoughts during those first few days, and the words and sentiments of you folks helped me trudge along. I still come on to read your words when my resolve wavers. You guys saved my life. Thank you. I finally told my family and friends. Some of them knew already as our friend groups were sort of blended after 5 years. And to say my mother was hurt was an understatement. She loved my ex and thought I'd marry her. I'd taken your advice and just went completely silent. I purged my house of everything that reminded me of her, everything she got me or left here, packed it into boxes, and asked one of my friends to deliver it to one of hers. I wanted to be proactive, couldn't sit still. When my friend got back, he told he gave her friend an earful about how I'd been treated. I didn't ask him to. Apparently she was apologetic. She supposedly didn't know my ex cheated. Yeah, right. I think she just doesn't want to look bad now that it's coming out ex is a cheater. No way she didn't know, but whatever. Yesterday a blank random Facebook pro messaged me. Hi OP, I got the stuff from Talia. I get you're probably mad at me. I get that I messed up by not breaking up sooner before things happened. But I think it's really cruel of you to tell people our business and even return things I got you as gifts. They were meant for you. There is no reason to be so ugly about everything. This is exactly why I did not say anything. I really think me just disappearing will help you move on faster. There's no reason for it. One day I hope we could both look back on our relationship fondly as something that helped us become better people. I hope you can reach that point in yourself. Ignored and blocked, she can get lost. I've got my appetite back. I still have moments where I just can't help but break down, but I feel anger more than anything else. I'm burying myself in work and most of my interactions with people involves a good deal of faking it, but I'll get there someday. What worries me is my anger. It's easier to just vent here. Here I won't get looked on with pity or tiptoed around. Thank you guys, for real. Translation. Hi OP, I got the stuff from Talia. I get you're probably mad at me. I know you are, but you shouldn't be because I had reasons and you should just accept that. I get that I messed up by not breaking up sooner before things happened, but I think it's really cruel of you to tell people our business and even return things I got you as gifts. How dare you tell people that I cheated on you over and over for a many-month span? I was really hoping to preserve my image and control the narrative. And now people know I'm a cheating idiot. They were meant for you. What the heck am I supposed to do with them now? There is no reason to be so ugly about everything. I can't believe you are trying to hold me accountable when I had reasons, and you should just accept them. This is exactly why I did not say anything. I'm a coward and didn't want to face the repercussions of my actions, and didn't have the balls to have an open, honest, and mature discussion about how I felt before being a cheating idiot. This was so much easier for me. I really think me just disappearing will help you move on faster. I really can't be bothered to deal with your emotions and pain, and face my cheating idiotic ways. This is so much easier cause I'm a coward. There's no reason for it. There's totally reasons for it, but I don't want to face them. One day I hope we could both look back on our relationship fondly as something that helped us become better people. I hope you'd get over this because I have, and wouldn't subject me to any ramifications of my actions. Oh, and I don't regret what I did, so there's that. I hope you can reach that point in yourself. I'm already over it and you should be, but if you're not, it's your fault and there's something wrong with you. Exactly this. It angered me to the point that I wanted to reply, but I realized that's probably what she wants. The fact that she reacted tells that she cares more about her reputation than hurt she caused you. Keep telling everyone that asks what happened. Exactly. After I found out my girlfriend cheated, she didn't try to contact me in any way to apologize. Then as soon as she finds out I told people what she did, she's showing up at my house unannounced, basically demanding I don't tell anyone. The reality is that these narcissists would prefer if you just hid away, so they could ignore the repercussions of what they did. Their reputation or public mask is the thing that motivates them. That was a BS message she sent you. Many backhanded digs she took at you. You have some rough days ahead of you, but they'll become less and less as time goes on. Sounds like you have a few good friends that have your back. Lean on them for support. I definitely will. What a weak apology. Sorry I cheated, but it was cruel of you to tell people. What the heck is that? As if her actions will ever allow you to remember fond memories about her. She's tainted her entire 5 years. What a total idiot. And she's in her 30s. So begins a string of poor relationships for her, since she doesn't own her behavior and instead plays the victim. This is about as best closure as you'll get, that she isn't the woman you thought she was. Do the work to heal from the trauma she left you with, and focus on healthier and happier relationships. Now for the second update. Recap. Couple of months ago, ex-lover of 5 years cheated on me, then ghosted when I confronted her. I went strict no contact. She tried to incite a response in me with messages from blank accounts, but I didn't respond. Now, a few days ago, my dad passed away. Somehow she found out, and on social media I have received such an outpouring of support from my friends, and some of them are friends with her friends. My friends already know not to talk to me about her, or share anything about me with her or her friends. I'm not too fazed. It's on social media, so she was bound to find out eventually. My mother is broken. But my ex, who has been blocked by my mother and family, decides to text my mother her condolences. She goes so far as to imply that being the caring person she is, she would like to offer my mother her support and attend the funeral. Guess who with? If you guess a fair partner, then you're right. Why? Because he will support her while she's supporting my mother. This sucks because my mom loved her, and they were close until she cheated. Mom didn't bother responding. She just told me what happened, told me she doesn't want her there or to reach out again, and will leave it to me to handle it because she doesn't want unnecessary drama after all this. Now I have no choice but to confront her. I also know confronting her is giving her exactly what she wants. She'll be able to say I'm the one reaching out to her. What should I do? What should I say? I have not dealt with it yet, but I plan to. Edit, she actually did say that she wants to offer my mother support without risk of hostility from me. Yeah, because ignoring her is an attack on her apparently. Now for more advice before the last update. Write her a text, a simple and direct message. I don't reach out to you because I want to, but only because my mom asked me to. Do not, I repeat, do not show up at the funeral of my dad. We, especially my mom, are already facing a tough time and don't need any additional drama by my ex, who cheated on me and ran away like a coward, showing up with the very person she cheated on me with. We don't want you there. You are not invited and not welcome. Stay away from me and my family. No one is interested in having any contact with you. Also, please do not reply to this message. It would be useless since I will block you right away again as soon as I can see that the message has been delivered. And also, please never again reach out to my mom. She has more than enough on her plate and doesn't need the additional drama that would come if you contact her. By the way, my condolences to the loss of your dad. Thank you. I wouldn't give her such a nice response. I'd text, "You're now dead" to me. Please never contact me again, from your mother's phone on her behalf. Have you also thought about writing a vague response on social media for mutual friends to give her? Something like, "Can someone please tell X not to contact us or come to the funeral? Thanks." Just get a friend to contact her and tell her in no uncertain terms that neither she nor the affair partner is welcome, and to please stay away, as no one including your mother wants or needs her there. Or perhaps write a simple note out telling her this, and have someone that knows both of you deliver it. No need to talk to her at all. I agree. Get a trusted friend who has your back no matter what, to do this for you. I would absolutely do this for my family or friends. Stay no contact OP. This is her way attending the funeral with a fair partner to play with your mind. Why? Is she twisted where she plays games to be the center of attention? Because to me, she seems like a narcissist attention seeker. A Mimi. Edit and mini update. Thank you all so much for your condolences. I'd have loved to answer each one of you individually. Thank you all from the bottom of mine and the family's hearts. I took all your advice into consideration. At the end of the day, regardless of the harsh way I personally want to put my ex in her place, I think I see things my mother's way. I don't want any sort of conflict or ill will, or cruel words spoken about the circumstances in which I'm putting Dad to rest. I just want peace until after the funeral. I decided I will not respond to her in any way. I've also spoken to my family through the group to tell them about what happened. Understandably, many were angry and wanted to rip her a new one. I pleaded with them to restrain themselves, that we needed to stand in solidarity and agree we will all meet her attempts with complete silence, and to also set as much as possible on their profiles to private in case she's creeping. I think all of them to agree that if she reaches out to them, we'll just ignore and block as many times as necessary. Won't even acknowledge she exists. Everyone's so protective of my mom now, so there's a new unity to the family that's really humbling. I'll speak to the funeral personnel about the ex to make sure in case she does show up, that she'll be turned away. I'll go to the police station tomorrow to at least inform them just in case. Maybe they can advise me as well. If a restraining order is my only recourse, I'll take steps in that direction. Lastly, when I told my friends about it, they weren't surprised. Turns out X is posting about being devastated by the loss of her uncle or some such BS and is soaking up the pity like a leech. My friends had already agreed amongst themselves to keep this under wraps to not stress me out. They volunteered to be spokesmen and spread the word to literally everyone that she isn't welcome and that we'll have security to keep her out if need be. They'll also run interference for me the whole day of. I was really touched. They insisted on it, that I should just focus on mom, and they'll take care of everything to do with her. I told them I don't even want to hear anything until after the funeral. Right now my priority is making sure mom isn't affected by anything else. I'm staying with her until the funeral. She's a really religious woman, so she doesn't want to be too harsh with the ex and says she's forgiven her, or is trying to. So the best she can do is continue to just ignore her. I'll update after the burial, I think. Thanks for showing me not to react emotionally. God bless.